The Daily Red, your lunchtime catch up on all things Liverpool FC, and your daily reminder that the Reds are top of the league. With a League Cup final to come and still motoring along in the Champions League, it's going to be a very promising season for the Reds in year one under Arne Slot. What wasn't so promising was the accounts that were announced. Liverpool announcing 57 million in losses for the year 23-24. Obviously, a lack of Champions League, the biggest factor here. When you're not in the top competition, but you're still operating like a top tier team, you're going to lose money. And we were paying Champions League wages while competing in the Europa League. Now, there's been a bit of talk about a compensation payment that was paid out, and I think it's 9.6 million. Little or none of that went to Jurgen himself, because Jurgen resigned. Therefore, we wouldn't have owed him anything. He had 2 years left on his deal at 13 million a year. So if we were paying him off, it would have been 26 million just to him. However, Pepin Linders, Vitor Matas, John Achterberg, Andreas Kornmeier, Andreas Schlumberger, and Jack Robinson, they all had a year or two on their contracts. And I'm guessing that's where the 9.6 million was, to settle up those contracts for those individuals. Now, it's possible Linders might not have gotten anything because he resigned as well. But then again, his contract may not have been exclusively tied to Jurgen's. But that's definitely where that money went. It didn't go to Jurgen. Jurgen wouldn't be entitled to anything having resigned. But the others, to pay them up, to move them on, clearly the club didn't want to keep any of them around. They would have had to have been paid off. Now, that 9.6 million is a significant chunk of the 57 million in losses, and wages overall did go up 13 million. So you're probably looking at 9.6 million to them. And then the rest is probably the fee to Feyenoord for Arne Slot, because I think that's where they'll tack that, because that was done before the end of last season. So I'm guessing we paid around 3.4 million to get Arne out of his Feyenoord contract. The rest that we would have paid for his staff will probably be on this year's account. What we should see for this season is that there will be a drop in wages, although if we win a league and a Champions League, then the bonuses that players will have in their contract probably wipes out that drop. Because, Thiago left, Matip left, Klopp left, Arne's not on anywhere close to what Klopp was on. So there should have been a drop there. However, pesky things like winning major trophies will likely eat up all of that. Speaking of winning major trophies, there's been some chatter on social media the last couple of days about whether or not Federico Chiesa would get a Premier League winners medal. Players who play 5 or more times in the season are all entitled to a medal. But the club are given more medals to give out if they need to. But Chiesa's played 3 times in the league. He'll probably get 2 more. But if not, I'd imagine the club will give him 1 anyway. It is a shame that he's only played 3 times. It really is. But you can't question the work that Arne Slot is doing. And if that's the decision he's made, then that's the decision he's made. I'd imagine Yaros will get 1. He only played once, but I think he'll get 1 as well. Back in 1920, when we won the league, Harvey Elliott and Andy Lonergan did not qualify for medals, but they were given medals anyway. So my guess is Chiesa will qualify with the 5 games, and if he doesn't, he'll be given one anyway. Harvey Elliott has played 10 times in the league and only played 51 more minutes than Chiesa. I don't think either of them are going to be at the club next season, if I'm being honest. I think they're both going to go. I think Diaz and Darwin will go. I think we'll end up keeping Jota because you're not going to let 5 go out the door. But the thing is, with Chiesa and Elliott, you don't need to buy 2 players to replace them. You maybe don't even need to buy 1 player to replace them if you want to give opportunities to maybe Ben Doak and Lewis Kumas. They could replace them. And the money from Chiesa and Elliott could be put towards your number 9. If you sell Darwin, Harvey, and Chiesa, that would bring near enough what you might need to go and get Alexander Isak. Sell Diaz, use that money for the left winger. So then you've got new winger and Cody, Isak and Jota, Salah with Doak and Kumas, and that's your 7 plus Jayden Danns, though he might go on loan. Obviously, one of the others could go on loan as well, but you probably don't need to buy anybody to replace Elliott or Chiesa. It's not like they've contributed anything to the league campaign this season. Harvey, to be fair, did play a vital role against Brentford when he came on. But outside of that, that's it. That's all he's really done in the league this year. Now, you could argue, oh, well, if Harvey goes, you need to add a body in midfield. But really? Are we still having that conversation? Endo could go. Morton will go, I'd imagine. We'll need 1 midfielder in. I'd love to keep Endo and get 1 midfielder in. I think that's the play. So Endo's your 6th midfielder. You bring in somebody like Lamine Camara or Baliba. You add them to Alexis, Dom, Gravenberch, and Curtis. And that's your sort of core 5 starter quality midfielders for 3 positions. And then Endo as the 6th. And then in attack, you'd have the same situation. You'd have Salah, Isak, Jota, winger, and Gakpo, 5 starter quality players. And then maybe an academy player like Kumas, like Doak, maybe even Kate Gordon for that 6th role. Gordon probably needs more games next season because he's had, obviously, the long absence with the pelvic injury, I think it was. And then Rio can be brought more into the fray. In midfield, Trainioni can be brought more into the fray. Maybe Alvin Ayman is brought more into the fray as well. At the back, we're going to need a right back because I'd be near certain Trent is going. Bradley can't be the starter. He's not good enough and he's injury prone. So he might become good enough. He's just not there yet. And he's too injury prone to rely on. But you'd have Bradley as the backup. Ibu, Virgil. I'm not sure if Gomez stays or goes. If he goes, you obviously have to replace him. We have Kwanzaa. We could look to bring in another centre-back, or maybe one of the full-backs that comes in is a centre-back as well. You know, like a Diakite. Hato's a bit small at the moment, but if he fills out, him, one of those could also be your 5th centre-back. And then you continue to work with Amaro Analo and bring him along. He's very, very talented. And then at left back, obviously, we need to bring somebody in. Sell one of them. I'd sell Robertson. So you look a new right back, new left back, one in midfield, two attackers, 5 plus Mamardashvili. But he's paid for because Kelleher will cover that fee. Next season, maybe we go Ali, Mamardashvili, and Harvey Davies is the third choice, loan Yaros. And then the following season, 26-27, Allison goes, Mamardashvili becomes the number 1, Yaros comes back as number 2, and Davies is the 3. Or maybe Mishur is ready to become the number 3. You do that for 2 years, move Yaros on, and maybe Mishur becomes the number 2. If development works out.
Right, the Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts and even Liverpool legends along the way, with the Great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to anfieldindex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at AnfieldIndexPro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.